President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from Netherlands Prime Minister Mark Rutte on Thursday. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said the call dealt with latest developments in Gaza. The president stressed the need for an international community urgently move to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. The head of state pointed to the extremely dangerous humanitarian conditions. In this respect, the president reviewed Egyptian efforts to deliver aids to people in Gaza to ease their suffering. For his part, the Netherlands premier hailed Egypt's role in delivering aid to Gaza as well as evacuating the foreigners. This in addition to Cairo's efforts to push forward peace and stability in the Middle East region. And Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry held phone talks with his Finnish counterpart Elina Valtonen. During their telephone conversation, Shoukry reiterated calls for the international community to support an immediate humanitarian truce to save Palestinian lives, sustain unimpeded aid delivery, and stop Israel's violations against civilians in Gaza. Separately, the top diplomat exchanged views with his British counterpart, James Cleverly, on the ongoing war in Gaza. They agreed on the importance of implementing a humanitarian truce in Gaza in addition to sustainable access of aid to Gaza Strip. Egypt announced that it would help evacuate about 7,000 foreigners and dual nationals from the war-ravaged Gaza Strip through the Rafah crossing. During his meeting with foreign diplomats, Assistant Foreign Minister Ismail Khairat said Egypt was preparing to facilitate the reception and evacuation of foreign citizens who are representing more than 60 nationalities.
People hoping to leave the Gaza Strip converged on the Rafah crossing to Egypt on Thursday, with those whose names were on an official list gradually passing through, whilst others held up their foreign passports in vain. The crossing was open for limited evacuations for a second day under a deal between Israel, Egypt, Hamas and the US, aimed at letting some foreign passport holders and their dependents and some wounded Gazans out of the besieged enclave. Egypt's Assistant Foreign Minister Ismail Khairat said Egypt would facilitate the reception and evacuation of 7,000 foreign citizens who are representing more than 60 nationalities from the Gaza Strip through the Rafah border crossing. Diplomatic sources said the process may take up to 2 weeks. On Wednesday, hundreds of foreigners as well as wounded Palestinians streamed into the Rafah border crossing, the first people set to escape the shattered Palestinian territory in more than 3 weeks of devastating war with Israel. Egypt said the most badly wounded foreigners and dual nationals could leave Gaza, which has suffered weeks of relentless bombardment by Israel. Desperation to escape from the densely populated territory, which has been under a total blockade and continuous Israeli bombardment for almost 4 weeks, was plain to see on the faces of those who were trying to cross. On the Gaza side of the crossing, exhausted people slumped on chairs, some with their heads between their knees, whilst children slept. Palestinian Border Authority published what appeared to be a list of those approved to leave on Thursday. They included 596 names classified by country. There were 15 countries in total. Those with the largest number of names on the list were the US with 400, Belgium with 50, Greece 24, Croatia 23, the Netherlands 20 and Sri Lanka 17.
North Sinai Governor Mohammed Abdel Fadil Shusha inspected Al Arish Public Hospital. Shusha called for providing efficient medical care for wounded Palestinians. The governor said although the governorate hospital's capacity was about 300 beds, it would receive double the number through providing additional rooms and can host the injuries accompaniers. The governor said that Bir Al Abd Hospital had received 49 Palestinians so far. Global calls for a humanitarian pause in the Israeli-Hamas war have gone unheeded, preventing anything more than a trickle of humanitarian aid from entering Israeli-besieged Gaza. Shortages of food,